Sounds correct.
Welcome, Realm family, to another episode of Wrestling with the Realm podcast. I'm Brian, one half of the Power and Glory of Wrestling podcast, and on the other side, he is the Hercules to my Paul Roma. He's my guy, Will. Will, what are we talking about?
Guys, we have a WWE topics wheel for you. So, similar to our topics video where we're kind of just talking about current stuff that's happening in wrestling, but we're having a wheel decide for us what we're going to be talking about. There's some who's better all time questions, some random matches I threw on there. We have some hot takes. So, Brian, I think I'm just going to get into it with our first wheel spin.
All right, Will, spin that wheel.
All right, where are we going with it? All right, what do we got? All time, who is better? Dusty Rhodes or
Oh,
Jake the Snake
oh,
Roberts? Now this is a tough one, Brian. I'll let you take us into this.
oh man, boy. All right, everybody, that's why this is going to be fun. I love that Will and I had this little concoction of this spin the wheel, make the deal if this was Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. This is going to be great. One, I don't know a lot of the stuff that Will put on there, so this is going to be super exciting. And who knows where these are going to go. So right away, you want to talk about Dusty Rhodes or Jake the Snake? Does it say who's the better wrestler?
Better all time. You're talking about the promos,
Oh,
complete package.
as much as Jake the Snake gets a lot of love from us, go back and watch some of our retro rewatches. We have very positive things to say about Jake, and Jake is one of the greatest. His ring psychology, the way that he can cut a promo, the work that he did in the ring was very methodical. He never wasted a lot of motion. He never did anything super big, but every single match he was in, you were glued to the TV and watching because there was something going on in a story. When you get to Dusty, when you get to Dream, baby, there ain't nobody like the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He is the second most recognizable athlete in the United States, second only to Muhammad Ali. Like Dusty is the Dream is in a league of his own. And it's funny that you have him and Jake the Snake because you pick somebody else with Jake who checks a lot of boxes. And then there's another level when you get to Dusty that kind of puts him over the top. And I guess the best example that I can give is when Dusty gets to the WWF and he's got polka dots and he got three Sapphire, baby. Sapphire, where you at? Jimmy, you see her? Jimmy, you see Sapphire around? I don't know where Sapphire is. Where's Sapphire at? What about that $1 million man, Ted DiBiase, trying to come up with some baby? Steal three Sapphire straight away from the Dream. Common woman, common man, baby. Like Dusty takes it to another level that even when he was in WWF, and by even though Bruce Pritchard will say it wasn't a rib, putting him in polka dots, that dude got over with fans in spite of anything that Vince could have done to try to rib that man. Like he was like Dusty could have came out dressed up as Stardust or Goldust, and that dude would have made it work. And I guess that's also a big attaboy to Dustin because he was able to sell Gold Dust, and that's a great character, one of the all-time greats. So, and when you look at Cody, you see Cody has that same ability. It's a little bit different piece of Dusty, but he has a lot of that. Not necessarily the common man, but he's like everybody else. He's a true blue baby face, and you're never going to think that he's better than you. He would never portray himself that way. He has a lot of that piece of dream in him. Um, but Dusty just too much charisma. There's too much charisma to say that he is not better than Jake the Snake. And that's not to say anything is wrong with you, Jake. You're amazing, but I think even you would say, man, there's only one dream.
Yeah, I think there's only one American Dream, like you said. He's just one of one. The charisma just pops off the charts. He did for me when I was just a little kid growing up watching all the old stuff with my dad. I loved the American Dream. At one point, I had two wrestling shirts. Of course, the Big Boss Man one, and
Yep.
then I had an American Dream shirt. Now, I wish I still had both of those t-shirts. I really do. But they're somewhere in a Goodwill storage bin or they just got lost. Those are so those were elite wrestling
I wish
t-shirts.
you had those. I
I know,
really do.
I know. But yeah, the Dream is one of one. And he also has just his in-ring work isn't even bad. It's really good, to be honest. The ability to tell a story in the ring, out of the ring. And you say he gets over with the fans. I think he got, I was a fan of his right away, just off the charisma he exude during his entrance. Just his entrance.
Yeah.
He's bebopping around, he's dancing, and he has one of the best
Oh,
entrance themes of all
one of the
time.
greatest ever.
Yeah, we have a few of those on here. Who has the better entrance music?
Ooh.
Should have put
Ooh.
Dusty on there because
Ooh.
his is one of the best of all time. Like you said, no disrespect to Jake the Snake because we have been on this podcast during our retro rewatches talking about how much we love Jake the Snake,
Yeah.
waiting for his part in these pay-per-views, but the dream is one of one.
And I know that's something for you, Will, on these retro rewatches with some of these old 80s and 90s pay-per-views. I love that that's something that you look forward to, that there's a couple of guys that you look forward to seeing. Like Coco Beware shows up, and you're like, yes, my guy Coco is out there. Like that's one of the more fun things for me is that there's guys that you kind of key on when we're watching those. And some are obvious, like Jake the Snake and Dusty, but guys like Coco Beware, like that's the real fun part, is that even today in 2025, you can go back and see the Birdman, and
Oh
you know,
yeah,
I like that guy. Man,
yeah,
throws a missile drop kick like no other.
dude. Don't get me started on Coco Beware in the ring,
Yeah,
dude.
what's her face? The referee, man. It's one thing taking a missile drop kick from EO. It's something different if Coco was on the other end, man. Man, Coco,
Yeah,
if she was down for 15 because of EO, she ain't getting up from Coco.
no, it's over right then and there.
Yeah,
Man, what a great spot that was from Jessica Carr.
there it
I
is. Sorry, Jessica.
no, I mean it's just so funny sometimes when you're watching wrestling, you don't want to be that guy that's like, "Oh man, this is happening. It's not realistic." Like we watch wrestling all the time
Hmm.
and it's not realistic. But that was just so over the top. I mean, you had a whole out out the ring brawl from Rhea and Io. And then Jessica Carr was just sitting there unconscious for that long. And then they get back in the ring and she magically pops up. So, what a great spot. What a
I
great.
don't know if it's on the wheel, Will, but I know we talked about it when we reviewed Saturday night's main event, and we were talking and Evolution. I was so happy that we got ref bumps because I love me some
Yes.
ref bumps because
Right.
there's nothing better. And poor Charles Robinson, man,
Oh,
John Cena laid Charles out.
did we talk about that?
No, we didn't. But then Goldberg
Oh
cracked
my
his
gosh.
rib, and I was like, man, Goldberg, he got softened up by John Cena because John Cena laid him out hard.
Oh my gosh. That was like a Ray Lewis hit stick. It was
It
so hard. He sold it so well. I'm gonna give him some credit. He went flying.
he
What a good moment.
in the speed that he runs to the ring, and he's really just running as fast as he can. Just got clocked by Cena. Oh,
I have one for you. Which one is better? Charles Robinson running to the ring for a Money in the Bank cash in,
mm,
or Jey Uso running to the ring when he's coming out to save someone on Monday Night Raw? He has that like, and he's
oh,
like slowly like crouched down, and he's walking to the ring as his cousin or his best friend is getting. out of them, and he's just like emoting his way to the ring. I love it.
And it's okay. So who does that better? I will take this question inception further. So who does that? Like who is the last person you want to come out to save you when you're getting your by a bunch of heels? Penta is number one. You don't want him
Oh,
coming out because he already showed not only will he get everything in into his walking, he will play to the crowd, and then he'll just do some move and never even get to the ring to help you. Dude literally took out Jey Uso and I can't remember what Braun or Braun was it. It just dove off of the ramp and took them. I'm like, dude, you never even got to the ring to help anybody. So the last person you want coming out is going to be Penta. Jay is up there also, where it's like, no, no, give me somebody who's just busting ass and getting down to the ring. Man, who would that be? Like, who's the first Well, Charles Robinson, but Charles Robinson's going to get laid out.
yeah. Oh gosh, who would get down there quick? Hmm. I'm trying to think. Trying to think about someone that does.
Cena, but Cena's the one who's the heel now, but
Dude,
Cena would get
Cena,
down there.
Cena was the guy back in the
Mhm.
2000s and 2010s. He would get down there quicker
Yeah,
than anyone. I feel like Punk's been on game on
I was
Monday
going
Night
to say Punk.
Raw
Yeah.
recently. He's been hauling ass down there when
Yeah.
his friends need him. Jay needs to throw a few yeets in before he can get down there.
Jay's like, keep the music going, yeet. He's like,
Yeah,
just keep it
bro.
going.
One more time through.
And then McAfee has to come over. They got to do their handshake.
Yeah,
And then
man.
he's got to stand by Michael Cole for 10 or 15 seconds to get him to do some yeeting. And we all laugh and go, oh, look at Cole. He's so lame. Like, he's a square. He can't eat right. Like,
Oh
it's
my God.
classic, though. You know what, though? We love it
We love it.
because it's
Guys,
funny.
can't get enough of the
Yeah.
Jey Uso entrance. All right, let's go back to the wheel here,
Let's
Brian.
get back to see everybody. That's why this one's fun because who knows where it's going.
All right, what do we got? What is your favorite match of all time?
Oh, boy.
I guess,
Will, you can go first.
yeah, I'll start.
I got to think about it.
The one that comes to mind is
Hmm.
Cody and Roman, WrestleMania 40. And that's such a generic answer for me,
Hmm.
but it was such a phenomenal match. And I'm usually not into super overbooked matches, and that one was just done so well. And I feel like it was perfect. The only thing that could have been better if it was Stone Cold instead of
Yeah.
The Undertaker. It would be the perfect match ever for me. I want to give a shout out to two ones that I think are a little underrated. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 39,
Hmm.
one of the greatest women's bouts of all time, greatest bouts ever. And then Rhea and Io at Evolution was that
Yeah.
good, and it was that crazy. The ending was perfect. Those three pop into my mind for recent matches. Survivor Series with Dolph Ziggler making the 4-1 comeback.
Mm.
Sting coming out, that was just, I know everyone was like, oh, Sting's coming out at Survivor Series. Everyone knew it was happening. And I mean, even though we knew it was happening, me and my friends were going crazy. We watched it all together. And that's kind of what makes an amazing match. Where are you? Who are you with? Like,
Yep.
do you remember all these things when you're watching wrestling? So those four, and I don't want to say it's one of my favorite matches ever, but like talking pure shock value. I was watching live when Undertaker lost his streak to
Ooh.
Brock Lesnar, and that was just, words can't even describe that. I was young at the time, and I was watching with my uncle, my dad, my whole family was there, and we were doing predictions. And we went around, and they were like, "Who's gonna win?" And I was the only one. I was like, Brock Lesnar, because I didn't quite comprehend who the Undertaker was. And my whole family's like, "No, well, Undertaker has a streak. He's not gonna lose the streak to Brock Lesnar, and he shouldn't have." But I was like Brock Lesnar because to me, Brock Lesnar was just the guy that beat up
Hmm.
John Cena. And John Cena was my favorite. So I was like, there's no way Brock Lesnar's going to lose. This is little me, no comprehension of wrestling. The shock value that that moment brought will be like a match I remember forever. Not fondly necessarily, because if it was me, Undertaker never would have lost his streak ever. But, those five matches, Brian, do you have a few
Ooh,
you can point to?
boy. Like the first one that comes to mind right away is that Roman and Cody match because you're not wrong. Like that was one stone cold Steve Austin away from literally being perfect. And it already was pretty
Mhm.
much perfect. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Taker at the end.
No.
It just felt like Stone Cold was that right person to be that last obstacle for The Rock, like his ultimate opponent that he's done battle with, forever. He's always been The Rock's nemesis. Felt like that would have been right. But there was somebody who was from one of the parents of somebody in the bloodline now, where people are like, "See, the feud went all the way back that far for Taker. He's had vengeance for
Yeah.
that, to take down the bloodline, and The Rock is supposed to be the head of it." So they tried to retcon that, but Stone Cold would have been so perfect. But as it was, that match was so good. It gave you everything. It had the build up from the story that they were telling in the ring. You had the night before with the tag team match that they had. Like you had so many things that just built up to that moment. It was the story that got me back into wrestling. Like that was the moment when I was like, wrestling is back and I'm back in it because they're back to doing what I remember as a little kid, only it's slightly smarter for the older audience, for people like me who was a kid when they were watching it. It's almost like wrestling in the WWE is almost like the Harry Potter books. You started reading them when you were a kid when the first one comes out, and by the time the last one comes out, they're not kids anymore in the books. And the
Yeah.
kids that started reading them as little kids grew up too, and they're not little kids. So the WWE is real similar that way, where I go, it's similar to what I liked as a kid. And if you are a kid, you can still like it at that level. But they've also gotten smarter where the people that watched it when they were younger see a whole different aspect to it now. And, it's really genius. And I think that's what Triple H is so good at threading that needle with his core audience. Um, and that Cody match was just like the perfect embodiment of that. But as much as I don't want to say this, as like my favorite match ever, you know what I'm gonna say. It's Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior in WrestleMania 6. And I cannot believe those words are coming out of my mouth. But if somebody were to ask me randomly on the street and say, "What's your favorite match of all time?" That's the one that I would say. It had the biggest impact on me as a kid. Um, it's probably the best match I've seen Hogan in. It's the best match I've seen the Ultimate Warrior in. No offense, Macho Man. That's the second best match that I think he ever had was against Macho Man in that retirement match at Mania. Uh, I just think that match and the story that was told and the build up. I mean, you kind of experienced it when we watched WrestleMania 6 in that retro rewatch with all the video packages and the way that they show you that story, and you really got into the build up back then because you only had the four big pay-per-views. There wasn't all these PLEs every couple of weeks. So you had these big overarching stories that lasted a whole year. And when you would go back and you would see Royal Rumble and Survivor Series and SummerSlam with Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and this big build up, and it's champion versus champion, pal. Ha ha ha, that's right. Yeah, like you have that build up with that story, and then you have Skydome in Toronto, and it's packed, and it's a cool venue, and everybody is into it. It's a great WrestleMania. Even though it's a little bloated, it's one of the most entertaining WrestleManias. That match goes down for me as probably my favorite match. I would never say I think it's the best match that there's ever been, but if you're asking favorite, I think that might be my favorite that I go back and I watch a lot, even though it's Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. It is the craziest damn thing, but it
No
worked. It
answers.
was
No, yeah,
it was like chocolate and peanut butter, man.
yeah. There's no wrong answers.
Warrior Hogan.
Yeah, that's a good match. That's a good match, man. There's no wrong answers. All right, Brian, let's get back to the wheel. Let's see what's
Spin
got for
that
us.
wheel.
All right, you're,
Oh,
you're gonna enjoy this one. Does anyone care about WWE speed?
what?
Does like why is it a thing? And what? So I'm so confused. Do they want us to care? Because Sol Ruka carries around that belt because she's two belt Sol Ruka, and she wants us to care. I've never watched a WWE speed match before in my life. I'm being so honest. Do you care about WWE speed, Brian?
I forget about it all the time. And my guy El Grande Americano is speed champion, right? Is he still speed champion or no? Like it literally could be anybody. It could be Andrade. It could be Ray Phoenix. It's not going to be Penta. They're not giving it to Penta. That belt's not important enough to be on somebody like that. But I go, it could be on pick anybody that belt can be on. Like it, I'm trying to think on the main roster. There's not many. Back in the day, they would have given it to R-Truth like 10,000
Yeah,
times. Um, I guess yeah. Is it just it's they tried, you know what they tried to do? They tried to make a championship like that that's akin to the 24/7 championship, but try to make it not as hokey or a joke.
yeah,
That's what it feels like. Like they really want to get views on social media because that's where this takes place. Like there's something that they want with that, where they want clicks and views on social media, but having this championship, it doesn't really do it. If it's not going to be on one of the two main shows, nobody cares. And maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe we're talking about this and it has, 20 million views on the speed
dude.
is.
I feel bad for those 20 million people. That's like 6 minutes they're never gonna get back.
Yeah, like I don't even know what the rules of it are. It sounds like it's fast. Did Ricochet hold this championship at any point?
He was the first ever speed
Shut the
champ.
hell up.
No,
Stop it.
he was the
You're
first
lying.
ever champion. I was just
Stop.
about to say that. Yeah, he was the inaugural speed championship holder, dude.
You got to be kidding me.
No,
Come on.
no.
Okay. That's all we need to say. Next, spin the wheel again. That's it. Like,
Moving on. Moving on. That's enough said on
yeah,
that.
we
If
love Ricochet.
yeah,
Ricochet's
oh,
great.
we love Ricochet so much. Oh, Brian, it's becoming a hate fest. Too
Oh
many
no.
PLEs. That's the whole thing. There's too many pay-per-views. We consume too much wrestling as wrestling fans. There's sometimes like this last weekend where me and Ryan we're on the pod for like 2 hours and 45 minutes because we need to sit through Oldberg wrestling Gunther
Hmm.
and Women's Evolution, which
Was amazing.
it was amazing. Maybe the
Yeah.
best pay-per-view since WrestleMania 40, like I said. I'll sit through that, but I don't need Great American Bash. I don't need Saturday night's main event. We should get rid of Saturday night's main event. That's such a tough thing to say because I love the concept.
Yeah.
But if we're not going to care about it and put time into it, we don't need that. We don't need f- three crown jewels a year, is what it feels like. We don't need. We don't need so many things. I don't even know where you start at, but there's certain things like I don't know. Like Money in the Bank, the people are going to hate this take. Money in the Bank can go back to WrestleMania.
Mm.
Go back to WrestleMania. It doesn't need its own PLE. There is certain pay-per-views we should get
Yeah, I
rid of.
like that.
We got rid of Extreme Rules. That was a good thing. We already have so many Extreme Rules matches. We got rid of Hell in a Cell to make it feel more important. So when there is a match, it's not a gimmick pay-per-view thing. So we can continue to do this with similar gimmick pay-per-views like Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry. Elimination Chamber has never felt important. It has not, because you know there's going to be no big title changes before WrestleMania, and that's when they put it, or you need to put it somewhere else. So, too many PLEs. We shouldn't have one every other week, and it's hurting storylines too because we're not building storylines correctly. The fact that CM Punk and Gunther are going to have one interaction, so they had one, where by the way, they don't even talk to each other anymore. One person says something, the other person comes out, and then they say something, and then they drop the mic and it's over. They just did that with CM Punk,
Yep.
Gunther. They did it with Cena and CM Punk. They never spoke to each other. They always just came out. The CM Punk Thug Life, Doctor of Thugonomics little thing he did. Cena didn't even say anything to him. He just came out and did that. Same thing with Cody and Cena. So this, what they're doing with this, I'm not a fan because we're not getting properly built feuds. And the feuds that do span over multiple PLEs, those are good feuds.
Yep.
Lyra, Becky,
Yep.
Bailey. That was the best built feud since WrestleMania, and it shows. So that's my rant on PLEs. I hope I got it all in and it made sense, but man, it's just too much wrestling.
I'm with you 1,000%, Will, with the PLEs. And I started doing something that I said we would never do. We're not calling them pay-per-views. We've been calling them PLEs now and catching ourselves. And I hate it because it really it really is what it is now. Like it was hard for me trying to adjust to that because the whole concept is completely changed now. And it feels like this change has happened even more recently than the last few years when I got back in. I feel like ever since the Netflix Raw, everything has just like skyrocketed in a weird direction as far as production. And so a lot of it's really, really good. But I think a lot of the scheduling with the PLEs and all of these extra events that they're trying to pack in does exactly what you said. It dilutes the storytelling you're doing
Hmm.
because you have X amount of slots to fill each year with all these PLEs. You got your major ones, and then you have the ones every couple of weeks with your clashes and your uh what are some of the other ones? You got Money in the Bank, you got
Yeah,
the Clash at this, the Clash at that, the Crown Jewel this, the Backlash. You got all these
too much, man.
different PLEs that get crammed in. Like now we have Clash in Paris, and I'm like, well, is that any different than Clash at the? So now we're just saying Clash, and we're adding a location on Clash at the Castle, Clash in Paris, Clash in Germany, Clash at Mexico. It's going to be on a beach. Like there's so many different things where I feel like they're just adding locations to get international revenue, which again, I get. But from where we've come from the past, if we say from the 80s and 90s that we were talking about, where that golden age started, where you take the four big pay-per-views, you have your Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. You had four big pay-per-views that you're telling your story across. So that goes back to what we were just talking about with Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. When you see the video package and you see the build up to this, you have four big pay-per-views where they can be telling this one big huge story with having little interactions and side missions along the way, but it's all one thing. It never strays too far away because you get to Survivor Series. Well, now it's perfect because we're doing teams of four against each other. So you can have the Hulkamaniacs versus fill in the blank, the natural disasters, whoever the person is who he's been feuding with over this long-term storytelling. Like they had pay-per-views made to help tell these stories leading up to WrestleMania. That's going to be your biggest show. Now you would pepper in your this Tuesday in Texas and your Saturday night's main event, but those were for different reasons. We talked about that before with Saturday night's main event, that it's there to get different eyes on your product than what normally watch it. People who don't have USA Network or Netflix. Network TV, you're going to get viewers on your product. But the way that they used to do it in the past was mixing in these different story elements, you can do some of your wackier little interactions. That's a great place to have a tag team match with Hogan and Ultimate Warrior on the same team, going against Dino Bravo and, you know, the no, you know what it was the one time? I think it was Hogan and Warrior versus the Genius and Mr. Perfect. Like that's a perfect little side quest for those two who haven't broken up yet. They use these pay-per-views and these TV specials to help tell that story. Now you have the four big pay-per-views, which is really like six now, because now you always have Backlash that always will come up, and you're going to have Money in the Bank. That's kind of a solid one that we're always going to do. But wait, now SummerSlam is going to be two nights. So now we have two nights of SummerSlam, and don't worry because 2 weekends after SummerSlam, there's going to be Money Down Under, and it's going to be some crazy thing in Australia. Like there's always something next. So you never really have the proper build up to the big matches. And maybe last year we were finally starting to see the effects of that at WrestleMania. Like that might have been the point where it
100%.
finally caught up to it last year where it felt like these matches were kind of rushed together and they didn't have the proper build. Well, it's hard to have the proper build when you have to keep people interested for that length of time. It's like me and my 4-year-old nephew. Go back and watch Christmas Carnage video,
I'll
guys.
watch it.
You got to go watch that. It's a great saga. But with me and a 4-year-old, it was hard for me to keep that going for 3 months. Now, when you have all these eyes on your product, if you try to take every one of these specials or pay-per-views and then the PLEs in between and try to tell one story, people are going to get burned out on it. So you have to try to pepper in some other things, but then it gets too diluted. And I think they got to that point before WrestleMania this past year where stuff was getting too diluted and it was harder to get the stories connected back together. It doesn't help that The Rock comes and messes stuff up, but I agree. Too many PLEs, Will.
Yep. And Dwayne might be coming back. That's what everyone's saying.
Oh, I hope next time on our spin the wheel we get to that. I want The Rock might
Yes.
come up.
Yes. So we'll
Dwayne.
see.
I'm
We'll
not
see.
calling him The Rock no more. He's Dwayne.
He's Dwayne.
Yeah.
Just Dwayne. All
Yeah.
right, guys. That's all the wheel has for us today.
It's a good
We
wheel.
Yes, it is. And we'll get to stuff next time. There's a whole lot more on here. And I can't wait for a few of them to pop up. So,
Yep. If you guys got any suggestions for
uh,
what you want on the wheel, put it down below and we'll put it onto the wheel because this is great. Like this is my favorite thing. This
yeah,
is me and Will. Like this, if you guys want to know what it's like when me and Will have our conversations at work, this is what it is.
very similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's where the real
hopefully,
magic happens.
yes, we'll get more of these out. I
Yeah.
mean, it's an easy film too. We
Yep.
can get it done for you guys quickly. So, if you like it, follow us, drop a like down below, and
Subscribe.
yes, subscribe. We're moving up in the world. We
That's right.
really are. Yes, so we want to give a shout to our new subscribers that followed
Thank
us
you guys.
from the Women's Evolution video. We appreciate it. Brian, let them know what's going on over at the Realm Paranormal Podcast.
You guys got to click down below for the Realm Paranormal Podcast. If you guys are new and you're some of our new subscribers who came over from that Evolution video, thank you again. We had a lot of fun filming that. We really like that show. Go over and check out the paranormal stuff. Go to the Realm Paranormal Podcast and get caught up. We have a lot of movie reviews on there for horror movies. I was kind of surprised when I went back. I was like, man, we have reviewed a lot and they're all really good. So if you're a horror movie fan or you just like paranormal stuff, go check it out. A lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, go check out the TikTok too. We have some lists coming out there.
Hmm.
I met Hornswoggle this this last weekend.
Yeah.
Super nice dude. Everything you guys hear about him on these Chris Van Fleet interviews and all these other podcasts is true. He is as nice as advertised. And he had a great match in the ring. So I have that posted up on our TikTok and our YouTube shorts. So go check that out. Until next time, guys, I'm Will. That's my guy, Brian. And we love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Peace out. Yeah. I would love to drop in the little clip from Die Hard of Bruce Willis's limo driver when he's listening to John McClane on the radio give the business to the head cop, the principal from the Breakfast Club. His name is Dwayne. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
okay. Yeah.
It's crazy because I don't watch movies. Fun fact about me.